Hey yogis, it's Renee. Today's video will follow the theme of last week. So last week we used the breath and the body as a tool to create one-pointed focus. So this week we're going to use pigeon pose as a tool for creating focus and release. And I think the key with the yoga practice is just to do it, you know. That's what it comes down to. So we're going to come into pigeon. If it doesn't work for you, you can try thread the needle or sukhasana. And this is going to be more meditative than alignment oriented, if you're wondering. We're going to do 5 minutes of each side. So, setting my timer for 5 minutes. You want to make sure you're on the top of the knee, tuck the toes, lift the hips at first. We'll take 5 breaths here. Deep inhales and deep exhales. Deep inhale and deep exhale. And notice where you feel it. Begin to notice if you're clenching anywhere. And after 5 breaths, make sure the knee's still supported. My knee's barely on there. Walk your way forward. Draw the heart forward, the sternum, the collarbone forward, and send those hips back. So you want to feel that the right thigh bone is pulling back into the socket. And then, because this is primarily an exercise in focus, begin to count the breaths. So inhale for 1, and exhale for 1. Inhale for 2, perhaps send the breath to your hips. And exhale for 2. Inhale for 3. And exhale for 3. Inhale for 4. And exhale for 4. And then eventually you want to walk all the way into the pose. And this practice today is about release more than anything. So you can actually drop your head here. Let gravity do its work. And one idea I've been working with myself is I clench my arms a lot and my shoulders. I've been kind of thinking of this idea of how would I move if I didn't even have those arms. So if you can just imagine the arms dropping off your skeleton as you drop your head. And deepen the breath. See if you're still holding on to something. It might take a while to let it go. I can feel parts of my buttocks clenching like they don't want to release. It's sometimes, for some of us, it's the most challenging thing, is just to let things go. Keep breathing. Feel the depth of the inhale and the length of your exhale. And deepen it with each and every breath. And notice any thoughts that come up. Maybe this is physically painful, or this is boring. Notice the thought, label it, judging, thinking, and then let it go. And then to transition, that was a little sloppy. Lift up in a downward dog. Just open the hip for a second, yeah. And then switch sides. We'll start with the other side, so 5 minutes upright. And again, not so much focus on alignment, but you want all your joints to feel safe. So if they don't, pick a different hip opener. Keep lifting the hips and take 5 deep breaths here. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. It's nice to notice your reaction to the poses that are about release versus the poses that are about strength and persistence, because it gives you an idea of what parts of yourself you're attached to, right? So this pose is more about release. Sending the heart forward and the hips back, and we're breathing deeply. And it's interesting to notice how you feel about this pose. I definitely spend less time with the poses that release than I should. And I have an easier time with the poses that are about like persistence and fire. And they come to these and I'm like, oh. So breathe into it. Notice if you're clenching things like your fingers, like I'm doing. And when you're ready, if you have blocks stacked kind of like I do, in fact, I'm going to put them over here. Walk your way forward. You can drop your head and breathe into the opening. Give yourself the luxury of slowing down here. Even if it brings up stuff for you that maybe you're hesitant to look at, breathe into it. Notice each and every thought that comes up, resistance, struggle, boredom. And see if you can let in just a little bit more air, taking it a little bit more on the inhale, but being receptive, being open to it, and slowing down your exhale. Noticing if your shoulders are tightening up. Maybe even you're tightening your toes. Breathe into one of those spots and ask it to release. If you're feeling some shaking, breathe into the shaking. And take another deep breath here right now. Deep inhale. Deep exhale, walk your way up. So that was 5 minutes on the other side. And lift to down dog if you like. And open your hip. And come down. And that's the practice for today. I definitely struggle more with those hip openers and those slower poses. I've been having this conversation with one of my students. What's the difference between pain and suffering? And suffering involves clinging, trying to make it go away, attaching feelings or experiences to it. So it's a really useful process to sit in poses, breathe into it, try to just stay with the breath. And every time a thought comes up, notice that thought and let it go, because it teaches you not to cling. So I invite you not to cling, or to practice not clinging, and I hope you have a wonderful day. So happy yogaing and happy meditating. Bye.